Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. CFPB finalizes rule to remove medical bills from credit reports. CFPB finalizes rule to remove medical bills from credit reports. So now I want to be clear about what this means. This is a great thing for people because I don't believe that medical bills should be on your credit reports. And also it's a violation because if you have a procedure and they put that procedure on your medical, on your credit reports, they're actually disclosing the type of medical procedure you had, and that's a HIPAA violation by disclosing your conditions or procedures to unauthorized third parties. They have done that. You have companies, clinics, gastric clinics, you have it could be anything, heart scan place. It does not matter. They're not allowed to disclose. And this is a way that we were able to get a lot of information, a lot of medical information removed off of individuals' credit reports by simply stating that they're in violation of the HIPAA Act. Now, something that I want to be clear before moving forward and reading the press release that came out today, January 7th, 2025, is that this does not absolve individuals of the medical debt. It only just says that it can't be on your credit reports. For loans that you get that do not go any further than your credit reports, it's going to help you. But if you're trying to buy a house or something that's going to do any type of title search on your name, it does not mean that they can't sue you for the money. All it means is that it can't be placed on your credit reports. That's all it means. So you're still going to need to understand and know that it could stop you from buying a house because you're going to have to resolve everything. And if they get a judgment against you, or if it's unresolved and they have a lien in your name against your name, even though it won't show up on your credit reports, and we still don't know how that might work out because that could be a loophole for them to go ahead and just sue people for the debt and then put a lien in their name on their credit reports. They put the lien on your name, not on the specific hospital or anything. They just say that you got a lien for $5,000 or $500 or $200. And also, just so you know, I have a gentleman who contacted me yesterday who is actually being sued by LVNV funding for I think he said it was like $230. And I was like, you can't be it. Are you reading it wrong? Maybe it was a typo with the lawsuit. And he said, no, Mr. Williams, it was like $225 or $230. I can't remember the exact number, but I was shocked. And so they're actually the strategy for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I got this little thing, this little gift on my desk that kind of reminds me of that. I gave this to my grandchildren too. They all got one. But look at this. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we got that reaction. Look at this reaction. 2, 2, 2, 2. Why doesn't, look at that. You see that? 2. What if I do 3? 3, 3, 3, 3. And if I did 4? 4, 4, 4. So you see that? Oops, sorry about that on the microphone. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. When it comes to business, business people don't just sit there and have stuff happen to them. They're always going to be looking at either for a loophole or looking at another way out. And again, and I just made a video about Experian getting sued. What do you think that they could potentially do? So now, to have all of this stuff reversed, this is how it could be done. If debt collectors or medical providers that have medical bills sue to have this overturned, and the Trump administration does not agree with it, and they already said that they believe that the CFPB is overstepping what they were put into place for. If they are countersued, they sue to appeal the decisions or appeal a ruling. A ruling could be appealed, could be a lawsuit against a ruling. And then if they say that they're not going to argue either in the appeal or a lawsuit for the ruling, guess what's going to happen? All of this stuff is going to just go right back to what it was. So what I want to do is I want to prepare people. So now let's go ahead and read the press release. So it says right here, CFPB finalized rule to remove medical bills from credit reports. Final rule will remove billions of dollars of medical bills from credit reports and end coercive debt collection practices that weaponize the credit reporting system. So just so you understand, they just will not be able to utilize the credit reports. So what do you think will be the next tool that they will pull out of their tool belt to weaponize people against? They're going to go and start suing people. So be prepared. They're not going to just let this debt just be like, oh, you don't have to pay it. Nothing has to, forget about it. They're not going to do that. I might be the only one out here that is putting up this big alert sign to let people know that they're not going to just sit there and not do anything. So now it says, Washington, D.C., today the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, finalized a rule that will remove an estimated $49 billion in medical debt from credit reports of about 15 million Americans. CFPB action will ban the inclusion of medical bills on credit reports used by lenders and prohibit lenders from using medical information in their lending decisions. It does not specifically state for mortgages. I'm just here to tell you, I know how this stuff works. The rule will increase privacy protection. See, I had always stated that there was a problem with privacy by even having that information on individuals' credit reports, and prevent debt collectors from using credit reporting systems to coerce people to pay bills they don't owe. So now, this already was a violation. And see, this is where people like the Trump administration, who says the CFPB is overstepping. There is already a rule, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, that states that if you do a debt validation and you don't owe the debt, if they can't prove that the debt is yours, that you would not have to pay it. So this is an example of overstepping. I can already see that this ruling might be reversed just solely based on this statement. I hope that they didn't have this statement in that ruling, because if they did have this statement in there, this right here will get this ruling overturned. Mark my words on it. If you a month or two later, once they get around to this, month or two later, when the debt collectors start going up to Congress and lobbying the senators and lobbying the Congress people who are on the side of abolishing the CFPB, they can use this one little statement to overturn it and say that this is overlapping of what the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act is already has in line for protection of the consumer. The CFPB has found that medical debts provide little predictive value to lenders about borrowers' ability to repay debts, and consumers frequently report receiving inaccurate bills or being asked to pay bills that should have been covered by insurance or financial assistance. Now, I've always stated, if you ever receive medical bills, you should immediately do a debt validation, and within that debt validation, you are asking if you had medical insurance. You ask if this was part of deductibles, if this was part of out of network, and if it was part of out of network, how did it get to be out of network? Especially if you went to a medical facility that was in network and they utilized someone out of network. That is not you're not responsible for paying a bill, because they would have to get a pre-authorization to even be able to use it, and you would have to be notified if it's out of network so you can make that decision. So there's something also called no surprise billing. They call it no surprise. They made it very easy for people. It's the No Surprise Act. That means that no out of network billing or any bills that you don't know about, they can't just throw them on you. So now people who got sick shouldn't have their financial future upended, said CFPB Director Chopra. The CFPB rule will close a special carve out that has allowed debt collectors to abuse the credit reporting system to coerce people into paying medical debts they may not even owe. So I invite you to go and read this. I'll put the link, or you can go to CFPB. So again, medical debt will not be on. They did not state any amount. They're just saying that none of the medical debt will be placed on there. That does not mean that they cannot sue you for the medical debt. That does not mean that if you have, if you're going to buy a house, that they will not be able to use that against you. And one of the loopholes that they could potentially use is they're going to start suing people a lot more, and they're going to have a right to sue people because they owe the debt. And then what they'll do is get a judgment, and when they had a judgment, they can put a lien. You can have a lien put up against your name, and when you go out to try to get a loan, that lien is going to come up, and that will stop you from being able to get what you need to get. Not to say that some companies, like certain credit cards or smaller lenders, may not do a search to see if you have a lien in your name. Some of them don't care, as long as it looks like that you, from their risk assessment, that you might be able to make the payments. And again, for certain lenders, they're going to take away the criteria to where you have to worry about medical debt for the ability to repay. So, but that's going to still be the lender's choice. So don't be fooled by them stating that there. It's still going to be the lender's choice. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process and my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, regardless of the debt, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.